بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين حبيبنا ونبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Welcome to this episode of In the Shade of Ramadan, and today inshallah we're going to talk about another beautiful name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we're going to draw some lessons for us in this month. The name that we're going to discuss is Al-Aleem, or the All-Knowing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, إِنَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ, that He is the all-knowing of that which is in the chests, that which is in the hearts. And so subhanAllah, these verses within the Quran that describe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as being the all-knowing have effects on the believer. The first is that obviously we would watch what we do. We know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees us in every location, on the high school campus, on the college campus, at work. It's not just in the masjid and during iftar. It's everywhere. And so subhanAllah, when a person feels that Allah is present with them wherever they go, and His knowledge surrounds them, then they watch what they do. The second thing is that they watch what they think. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He is Aleem for that which is within our hearts, then we are even careful about what thoughts we entertain, what feelings we entertain. We examine our hearts to see what are our hearts attached to. Are they attached to dunya? Are they attached to akhirah? Are they attached to Jannah? Are they attached to Allah? Or is it attached to some worldly thing or something that Allah is displeased with? The third wonderful effect that this name has on us is that we would try our best. Again, when you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Aleem, no one can appreciate what we do like Al-Aleem. You know, when you do something good for anyone else, they only know a portion or a part of whatever struggle you went through in order to do that good thing for them. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can appreciate, every subtlety and every difficulty and everything we do in terms of serving Him. So when we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Aleem and He knows everything, then we would try our very best, and from Him we get the best reward. And no one can reward us the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can. The next element in this name that we can benefit from is that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Aleem, then all of the hardships and trials and difficulties we go through, He's the first one we consult. We go back to Him, we complain to Him. Whatever it is we're going through, He understands our situation, even when no one else understands. If your parents don't understand, if your friends don't understand, Allah Al-Aleem understands. So we go to Him and complain to Him and have a strong relationship with Him to get us out of whatever difficulty that we are facing. And another interesting thing about this name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that many times we find it preceded by another name. And this name is As-Sami'. So we find in the Quran, As-Sami' al-Aleem, the all-hearing, the all-knowing. And this has an effect on those who read the verse. You realize that, subhanAllah, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that He is all-hearing, isn't hearing a form of receiving knowledge? So there's an emphasis on sound within this name. And so for the believer, we would seek to make more dua to Allah because He is As-Sami'. We would make more dhikr because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, He's listening. We would ask Him for whatever we need, and we would talk to Him. And subhanAllah, we know in psychology that one of the important ways of developing a good relationship is good communication. What about our communication with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah, who is our goal. Well, how is our communication with Him? Are we talking to Him? Are we making dua to Him? Are we remembering Him at different times? So when we understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Al-Aleem, we have better communication with Him. And the fourth thing is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Aleem, and at the same time He loves every alim. This is something that Shaykh Muhammad Ratib al-Nabulsi mentions in his book about the 99 names of Allah. And he says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves every alim. He loves the people who try to know and seek knowledge. And one of the benefits of those who are seeking knowledge or beneficial knowledge is that they would come closer to Allah. And Allah attests to this in the Quran. So we want to be of those ulama, or we want to be on a path to seeking knowledge and being of those people who are trying to attain this good quality. Again, Aleem, ilm, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is complete. And for us, it's very small. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, He mentions in the Quran that He only gave us a little bit of knowledge. But when we seek for that little bit of knowledge, He loves us for it, and He is pleased with us. So this Ramadan, seek to appeal to Al-Aleem by learning things that you think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleased with. And I recommend for those of you who haven't gotten into the habit of reading beneficial things that would draw you closer to Allah, to start with 2 books. Read one book in Seerah and reflect on the life of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the struggles of the companions, and draw lessons out of the Seerah of the Prophet that you can incorporate into your own life. The second thing is to start reading a book of tazkiyah, or a book of self-development. One I can recommend that Mass Youth has published is called Rising Soul. And this is a wonderful book that talks about habits that you can get rid of and habits that you want to increase. And for those who are already readers, I recommend reading books of fiqh that talk about not only the outer dimensions of worship, but also the inner dimensions of worship. So when you're fasting, not only is it a physical fast, but how can you understand it as a spiritual fast as well? And subhanAllah, through this we can appeal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Al-Aleem and make the most of appealing to Al-Aleem in this month of Ramadan. Jazakumullah khair. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.